Hi, everybody. Okay, so day 21. Is that right? Day 21, I think. And I today was bring a friend to youth group Sunday, um, or bring your friends, or bring multiple friends, or bring 80 friends to youth group, and we had a bunch of teens at teen group, and it was a blast. And we had like 14, I think, teens there. Um, and it was amazing. I just love working with teenagers. Um, and these teens in particular have really just changed my life. And it's the teens from camp, it's the like new teens that are showing up, and it's just this generation. I feel like this round of teens in general, they're such they're just lovers. Like they just love people unconditionally, and they have taught me so much about just how to love people and how to be open and how to communicate and how to they've just they've totally changed my life, and like the course of what I want to do with my life, and my purpose, I feel like, personally. But so it just was wonderful to be around these teens again today, and just feel like every time I'm around them, my heart opens more and more. And we did these affirmations, and everybody has to write their own affirmations based on their life and based on what they want to have more of, and like what they want to expand in their world. And we talk about what you focus on expands. So if you are interested in expanding financially, then focusing on where the wealth is in your life, or where you're receiving more, or where you can increase flow in your world. And, or if you're wanting better grades, then an affirmation about like, I am great at school, I have awesome grades, that sort of a thing. So what you want to expand. And, and one of the teens wrote, I see Anna Booty all the time. And and that's what the teens call me, is they call me Anna Booty, because uh, I told them that some friends in high school used to call me that. And so then they thought it was hysterical, and here we are. Um, but I was so touched by that. And just the idea that like they could pick anything. They could pick anything in the world that they want to expand in their life. And he chose me to put on the paper. Like, he chose to say, I would like to have more of her. It's so hot, you guys. Um, and I was like, what do you say to that? Um, uh, Thank you. um, so that was just amazing. And one of the other teens was like, hey, can I come live with you? Um, and I like, and all of that stuff. Like, I know that sometimes people just say that stuff, and it sounds nice, and but like, man, it's so touching to me to have these wonderful teens who, they don't just like say that to everybody, and they don't just allow anybody into their world. And I just feel so privileged, like, um that that I don't know, that like they would be interested in spending more time with me or wanting to hang out. It's just like, it's such an amazing um feeling of, they just love you, like they just love so unconditionally. And uh so I just felt so blessed today. And there was laughter, and there was joy, and there was smiling, and there was coloring, and I use coloring as a like meditation practice, and it's like gotten me back into coloring. It's gotten like we all used to color when we were kids. Like, what happened to that? Anyway, so these teens have changed my life, and I feel like it's um, I'm grateful. I'm really, really grateful. And you know how that relates to self-love, and I think that like they're helping me to discover like how amazing I am, and I didn't. It's like it seems so funny now, like not funny, but sorry, my computer's dying. Um, it seems a little like it seems interesting to me now that like uh, that I didn't realize it before, but there was a long time, and still sometimes, but there was a long time where I didn't feel like I was valuable, and I didn't feel like I was worthy of the kind of unconditional love that just comes because you're alive and because you're great. Um, and we did like an activity at camp where we call it an angel wash, and it's like on either side there's people, and they kind of like wash you with like words of affirmation and like physical touch, uh, just exuding love, and it's kind of like an overwhelming, intense experience. But we did it one year where it was the entire camp, and so there's like over 300 people, um, and they're all pouring out love, and it's like, you know, like 150 on either side, and you're walking down the center, and your eyes are closed, and like I was a wreck by the end of it, because it just was like this. It was like this old idea of me, and this old person was dying, and I was letting go of this old person, and I had been in process of doing that for a long time. But this old idea of like I'm worthless, or I don't have value, or I'm garbage, or that whatever, like that old idea, and I think it takes time. Like sometimes it takes a few times for it to really die off. Um, but I was just these teenagers were changing my life, and every camp that I went to was life changing, and every camp of being around them was so profound. And this one specifically was like it clicked in my head of like, yeah, you can't think that anymore. That's done. Like that's done now. And it was like I had that thought of like, how could I have ever thought that? How could I have ever thought that? If these kids can embrace me so much, and if these teens can just care and love me so much, then I must have been wrong. I must have thought wrong. And I know that it's not dependent on their love, and I understand that, but it just really was that I needed that shift. I needed that push. I needed that like experience and reminder at the time. And and I'll never be the same. And I can't ever fully go back. And we don't ever go back, but I don't think I could ever go back to that idea, that old story, that had such a hold on me for so long. And so it really is like that, I think, was ultimately like the beginning of my self-love journey, of realizing like it's time. It's time for me to recognize this beautiful being that I am. So today, at Bring a Friend to Youth Day, like, I just was in awe of, I get to be around those teenagers, and I get to be reminded of, like, how awesome I am, and I get to remind them. And, yeah, I'm just happy. Happy, uh, that I get to be a part of their lives and, and be changed by them. Um, and so, to my teen group and to all of the teens that I have ever crossed paths with or will cross paths with, thank you for changing my life. Yeah. Um, I love you all. And shout out to Julian Ortiz for his affirmation, um, sparking a reminder in me of importance. So, thank you. Love you all.